Hey, welcome back to another video. You might wonder why I'm sweating. Well, today I'm transferring some of this old container here, you see this to the left here, to this new container over here that I got from Sam's Club a few months ago. And it was a bit of a chore, but today I'm going to show you how it's done. These are actually on a 16-inch patio paver. Now these are actually 19 inches at the base, these new ones right here. And I had to buy special saucers from Greenhouse Megastore, which combined caught up almost as much as one container itself. So there you have it. Now here we have the container right here. And you see there's no drainage holes. We gotta make some drainage holes here. So conveniently here I have a flat blade screwdriver, and what we have to do here is we have to go ahead and puncture these from two sides, and we do that 3 more times. And the whole point is give these puppies some drainage here. So there we go. One side done. And there's the other. So it took me 5 minutes when I started this to figure out I actually had to get these things open, but it clearly says on the bottom here, use a flat blade screwdriver. So it didn't exactly say how to use a flat blade screwdriver. All right, so there we go. Oh, that one's cracking, so we don't want to, careful not to crack the bottom of the container. And there we have it, one container. Now basically what we're going to do is we're going to get the original pot of the plant out of its pot. Now there is some verbena growing in here, and this is a very pretty rose that I have growing here. It's been in this container for more than 2 years. And I say I love it because it starts off yellow and then fades to pink and white. It's a gorgeous plant. So getting a saucer for this was a chore in itself too. Now, this we're just going to tip over and get it out the saucer, and we're going to save the saucer. We're going to repurpose this after we clean it up. What we're going to do here is we're going to put the saucer in place here, the new pot, and we basically want to do this because once this is in place, we don't want to move it again if we don't have to. Okay, because it's going to be very heavy. And some people put filler on the bottom, but I put the whole thing because this plant is going to be here for a while. All right, so we're going to roll this around, tap down the sides just to loosen the ball, because this root ball is probably pretty full. And we're just going to give a gentle tug on the mother plant here to get it out. And we're going to put it on its side. And here we go. All right. You see, it's pretty well intact here. Now, what I want to do, this is pretty deep. This measures about 24 inches deep, okay? Now, we're going to measure the root ball here. I want to be pretty close to the same. And right now, we have about 16 inches. All right, now I want 16 inches to be about at this line, at the rim here. So I'm going to mark in 4 places just so I don't have to worry about guessing. Going to the bottom here. All right, 16 inches here. I'm going to mark right about there. All right, 16 inches. This is pretty, doesn't have to be exact, but, if I want to be consistent all the way around, I made sure I'm marching from the same place. Here we go. See, 16 inches here. See, that's where we want to be. We don't want to be having 2 lopsided measurements here. My wife is chuckling here. as I'm making my little mistakes here. See, actually here is, remember, we're marking from this point here down here. So that is where we want to be. You see, it's actually a nice little dark line here. So I'm just going to take that dark line here and I'm going to use that as my reference here. And of course, I'm going to double check my measurements here. Yeah, it's pretty darn close. We had to put in some of the dirt here. Now I'm actually using 2 potting mixes here. I got this Smarty Plants mixture from BJ's, which I believe is still on sale at about $11. At $12.98, this is a moisture management potting mix from Sam's Club, which I actually prefer over this because it has the moisture crystals inside. And for containers, it's very critical to help manage moisture, particularly in a Florida environment. We got lots of rain, and these saucers may fill up, but this plant is not going to drown. And if necessary, I could use a baster or a siphon or something and drain the water out if I needed to. But I like having the saucer to collect some water in between rains because that way the plant doesn't dry out. And especially when you have 90+ degree days, that's very critical. So let's get started here. I'm going to put at least some of this in first. And I'm going to put some of this in here. Mix them up a little bit. And this moisture control soil will help absorb the moisture and not be waterlogged here. So we're going to put some more of this in until we're almost at our full level here. And I'm using these little marks as a guide. You see there? Okay, there's our guide. And we need a little bit more. Now, yes, you will need probably 2 to 3 bags of potting mix to make sure you have enough. Now, granted, we don't need as much because if you were just starting this from scratch, you would need a lot more soil mix here. But because we have a container, and this container literally, if you were to take this, it would fit inside of here. So you see, we don't have to fill that much soil. We're just lifting it up. So if you're planting a new container, you will need to get more soil. So here I'm just taking some compost cow manure mixture. And this just gives us a little organic mixture here. And this just is a little bit of a boost for the plants to grow into. Now this soil mix does contain fertilizer, but this is an organic fertilizer, and I like it better. Now the only problem I have now is getting this pot into there. Now that's not as easy. You can see why I'm this dirty is because of what I did with that pot over there. So, wish me luck here. Let's keep the root ball intact. All right, here we go. Oh. I have to be careful because the root ball is breaking apart slightly. So we're going to carefully this and there. All right, and I just want to center it here. And that's pretty much what I wanted to do here. What we do now, after, and you see right now this is starting to break on this side, but I'm going to pat that in there so it doesn't loosen anymore. But it's pretty much, you see now at this point, if you look up closely, you can see that I'm at the level I want to be here. But fortunately, I brought another bag of potting mix with me here. I just have to do this. Now, some people might use a razor. I just rip it right open. So, and you see, what are the nutrients in there? That perlite, I just rotate this and I'm going to break it up. Now, you could also do, and I've done this too, is use a pot and use that to help break up the soil so you don't have to go referring to the bag all the time. But take your hands and just break that up. Now, some people don't use gloves. I insist upon it. Not that I get my nails dirty anyway, but at least I protect my hands and my body, for that matter, from potential soil pathogens. All right, so that one's that one over here for now. Now we're ready to dump our first load. We're just gonna dump this down in here and pat it in, and then we'll do it some more. So we'll probably use most, if not all, of this bag. And this is 55 quarts. So you can imagine with this massive root ball here, and don't do this, if you don't do this inside, which frankly I don't recommend, have a drop cloth. But if you're outside on the lawn, shouldn't be much of a problem. Now I tend to a point, if this bag is empty enough of picking up and just use dumping it right in, but I do like to break up the soil as much as I can before I put it in here. So I'm gonna lean this up against here. Now I have big hands, so it may take you longer to fill up this pot, and this container for that matter. All right, so put it in here. I'm gonna take my gloves, and another reason why my arms get dirty here is I did into my work here. Now, besides the dirt here, I'm actually going to be filling in some of the depths with some petunia and verbena plants that I started the petunias from seed, and I did the verbena from cuttings. Now this rose in here, or this planter, already has some verbena in it, so I'll be planting around that. And I'm not worried about getting dirt on the plant, because as soon as I water this, it's going to rinse off. So at this point, I'm just trying to get this plant situated and happy. When we were living at an RV resort, these two planters were really initially the only plants that we had for decoration and for enjoyment. And you see, I'm just going right through here, filling it up, putting it down. I don't want to super compact this, but I don't want it to settle 5 inches as soon as I water. So I want to make sure this is in the ground. I'm in the container, nice and firm. So now we got this pot bag. At this point, I'm going to take it and I'm going to break it up in the bag like this. And I'm going to fill the pot this way. Hopefully not. Avoid spillage if you can. And I see I still have a ways to go here. So we're just about here on this side, but we need a little more. So now we got the bag this high. We're just gonna go ahead and spill it in there. Using the upper part as a funnel, I'm just gonna get that dirt in there. We still have this last backside here, so this will probably just about use what we have here. Now here's a little verbena right there. I don't want to bury that, but I want to make sure that when I put the soil in here, you'll be able to keep growing. Okay, so lifting this up this way, swish in here like that. And a little bit more dirt here. I'll just use the rest of this here. Put it in there. All right, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to push it around. So we're evenly distributed here. All right, so there we have this. Now, we're not done yet, because over here we have several petunia cuttings here. We actually have a, this is actually a yellow petunia called, it's actually not a petunia, it's a Pitobia calaburst yellow. And I'm going to put him in there. And I'm just going to undo some of my soil right here, enough to get this in. So I'm just going to take it, put it in the ground there, aim it toward the edge, and that's one down. Now we also have several other varieties. Don't ask me to name them, because in the process of potting and whatnot, I kind of lost track of which one was which. But you see, this one's pretty anyway. You don't generally find too many petunias like this at the nursery. So I had to grow my own. All right, so let that go. We're going to probably let that settle in, then we're going to flip it back. See here, this one is white with purple petals. And this is, it says, Romantica norma is the variety of this one. At least that one had a label. So once again, making a hole and making a home for this one. Spill it in. Okay, so we got 1, 2. We're going to put another one over there, a different color. Now this is kind of interesting. This one's a dark shade. I have no idea which one it is, but if you guys know, let me know. I see a nice dark purple flower. It looks awesome. Can't wait to see what this really blooms out to be. All right, so there's that. Now also, I have 3 verbenas, nice pretty red verbena, much like what was in here. And I can put some pictures of what this plant had looked like in full bloom before. It's really very pretty. And once again, these are cuttings that I took. I'm going to put that in there. I'm planting like petunia, verbena, not exactly in that order. Because this is my last verbena. The rest will be filling in with petunias. So, and this is pretty much a full sun. It's in shade now because it's the morning. But in the afternoon and evening, it gets full sun back here. See, it's beautiful. It's not pot bound. It's ready to go on the ground. So, see right here, we've got the actual original verbena growing underneath here. This will spill out as this settles in. So I'm going to a little deeper. There we go. And once that's in place, there we go. And I thought about putting marigold in, but I changed my mind. It's just not going to work out. This die is careful, this little die right here. Alrighty. Alright. Settle this die right here. Right now. Alrighty, so that's pretty much it, but probably space for one more petunia. Maybe not, I'll have to make the determination. Yeah, I think we do one more over here. So we pretty much have it all over there. Alright, which one should I use? See, I'm going to use this real pretty one here. Alright, so same thing. I'm going to lay this down for 1 second and make my little hole a little deeper. And we're just going to put that in the hole, aim it slightly toward the rim here. All right, so that being said, now with our water, this will help settle the soil. Now you don't have to be rushing here, but basically here I'm washing off the dirt off the container as I water. And this will probably take several waterings, because as I'm watering, the moisture control soil is absorbing the water. And we're going to have probably look at this thing in a couple of weeks and see if we have an update on this one.
You remember the name of that rose? I know we've had it for several years and it's beautiful.
Well, the thing is, it's one of those roses that had two different labels on it. But it's like a landscape rose. And I believe, I'm not sure, but I thought it was called Color Cocktail.
That sounds right.
That's what one of the plants had the label on, but I can see why it's called Color Cocktail, which is you see even in here, there is white, yellow, pink,
right.
And so here.
It definitely posts a picture from when it was in bloom. Right now it's not, but it's a really, really pretty plant.
So
that's the other one that you did earlier.
Yeah, I'm just watering, trying to settle the dirt. Now, at this point, I've watered this already, and water still hasn't come out the bottom yet. So that shows you how much moisture this can retain. And I'll basically, keep watering it until I see something come out of the bottom. This one, kind of funny. We have a little friend here that I don't generally recommend tilling on camera, but this is a snail here. Not a good idea for keeping plants happy. So we'll let the birds have that one.
And what I thought was funny is you're swinging that hose right in front of me and getting me wet.
Thank you for watching this video and putting up with my dirt. If you want to see more videos like this, give us a comment and a like, and join our happy family of growers. And in the meantime, thank you for growing with me here at Gardening with Big Ben. Hope you learned something today. I know I did. Have a great day.